Hi, this is Margo. This is Monday, July 2nd, 2018. And I know I did an update last night, but I was looking at cams this morning and looking at ozone levels. And this is ground ozone. We're looking at the United States, North America. And this is the most severe that I've seen it, and this is going into the forecast period. Well, this is today. This is actual data that they have from today. I believe they have the data in. Yes, CAMS already has the data in for today because they're on UTC time. And this was much worse than what I showed in my update last night. And if you have not seen the ozone series that I've done talking about ozone, it's a 3-part series on my YouTube channel. Go back and watch those. I talk all about ozone, the good ozone, the bad ozone, how the ozone layer above the earth is thinning, and what makes it thin, and how dangerous this is. Now, what we're looking at is ground level ozone. This is at surface level, and it's measured in parts per billion. And here's the graph down here that shows this is green, like this green here is 50 parts per billion, then the lighter green is 60 parts per billion. When you get into the cream colored, that's 70 parts per billion. 80 gold, darker gold is 90. This orange color is 100. The red is 120, and the dark red is 150. And we can see that today we have it, the ground level ozone, ground ozone levels in the San Francisco area, and this looks like the Denver area, are in way, way, way high danger zones. And so what this means is people are going to have a hard time breathing. The air quality is going to be awful, and the whole United States and southern part of Canada are covered in even the green ozone, which for sensitive groups it's going to be hard for you to breathe. And you can tell I'm having a hard time this morning. Of course, it is morning, and I'm a little bit hoarse in the mornings. But I have a lot of allergies too. I'm like the canary in the coal mine. But I wanted to bring this to everyone's attention. And with this being the 4th of July for the United States this week, and we've got heat wave after heat wave going on. We've got methane going off, and tempers could be flaring, and there are going to be a lot of marches and things. And you know, I just think people need to stay in. This is not good. I'd like to share an article, and we'll run this movie in a minute. I'd like to share an article that one of my YouTube subscribers shared. Thank you, Marcia, for sharing this. This is from Weather Underground. This is from June 29th, 2018. And it says Denver matches all-time high of 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Heat pollution spread east this weekend. And of course, with this heat like it is, it's going to cause wildfires to start. And the wildfires are starting all around the place, and they're starting early in the season. We've already had them here in Nevada. So there's a picture of a big wildfire burning near Forbes Park in southern Colorado. and there's a big drought going on, so I'll just hit the highlights of this article. June will sag into July this weekend, with much of the central and eastern U.S. enduring a blistering, dangerous heat wave that could extend into the July 4th holiday in some areas. Excessive heat warnings were already in place Friday morning for parts of 11 states from Kansas to Michigan, and heat advisories for the upcoming onslaught extended all the way to Vermont. Ample low-level moisture, perhaps boosted by corn sweat, will add to the misery of the high temperatures in many locations. The heat index, a measure of the combined effects of heat and humidity, was predicted to soar as high as 120 degrees Fahrenheit on Friday and Saturday across parts of northern Illinois as dew point temperatures approach 80% Fahrenheit. The heat index could be in the 105 to 110 degree Fahrenheit range in the New York City area from Sunday into Tuesday. This is also called wet bulb, and when it gets hot with the humidity, your body can't cool down, and that's how you get heat stroke, and people can die from these conditions. Anyway, it talks about the dome of heat building into the northeast, and it's moving from Denver east. All-time heat records will be less likely across the central and eastern U.S., but many daily record highs and record warm minimums can be expected. Triple-digit highs aren't out of the question for Sunday. Of course, we're past that now. I want to go on down and talk about the air pollution and the bad ozone, because this comes right in with what I've been talking about. And here's your air quality, and see, there's the Denver area, and it's not looking good, and it's going to be worse. I'll bet if you look at this now, that's going to be worse. Dangerous ozone pollution event underway. The week's heat wave is bringing the worst ozone air pollution thus far this year to much of the Midwest and Northeast United States. An Ozone Action Day was declared for 24 U.S. cities for Friday, including Cincinnati, Detroit, Dayton, Denver, Indianapolis, Louisville, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, and Salt Lake City. I think they should add San Francisco there, and probably LA. On Saturday, Ozone Action Days are up for 18 cities, mostly in New Jersey and Utah. Ground level ozone, which has been blamed for approximately 12,000 premature deaths per year in the U.S. between 2010 and 2016, is created from chemical reactions between volatile organic carbon compounds and nitrogen oxides in the presence of sunlight. I talked all about this in my ozone videos. The chemical reactions that create ozone happen faster at high temperatures, and the current heat wave can be expected to cause one of the deadliest ozone pollution events of 2018. Expect to see many areas with ozone pollution topping out in the unhealthy for sensitive groups on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we're past that and into the week, and it's way past that. At this level, people who are sensitive to air pollution can see negative health effects, though the general public is not likely to be affected. Well, I disagree with that. If pollution levels hit the unhealthy or red range, people who are sensitive to air pollution are at increased risk of stroke, heart attack, and breathing problems, and even healthy people may experience discomfort. And on an ozone action day, you're encouraged to conserve electricity and set your air conditioner at a higher temperature. Choose a cleaner commute, share a ride to work, use public transportation, bicycle or walk. I wouldn't go anywhere. You're going to be breathing all that in. Refuel cars and trucks after dusk. Combine errands and reduce trips. Limit engine idling. Use household, workshop, and garden chemicals in ways that keep evaporation to a minimum, or try to delay using them when poor air quality is forecast. So, I'll leave the link below. That was a good article, even though we're a little bit past that time zone. That's got good information. So I'm going to run this movie. You're going to be shocked. Okay, starting the beginning of the period. This is actual data through the 2nd, is from June 28th, and this is ground ozone level. And the movie is loading. Now, see it? Just covering the United States there. And then it goes down at night. And we've got this blob over here, blob over there. And you can see it also off the East Coast here. I can barely talk. Okay, now it's coming up to today. Watch, you see that? There's San Francisco, and that was the Denver area. That's today. Now it's going into the 3rd. It's popping up again. This is very, very serious. This is forecasting, and they're forecasting according to the data that's been inputted into the system. So this is going to be very dangerous week. I've had a bad feeling about this week coming up. So I want to show everyone something else too. While I'm here, let's switch to total column, and we'll also look at how thin the ozone layer is in total column around the world, or around over the United States especially. And the reason I'm focusing here is because this is 4th of July this week, and there are going to be a lot of marches, a lot of protests are being planned. There are going to be a lot of people outside, a lot of people celebrating the 4th of July, and it's whenever you have crowds and heat and air pollution and ozone, and there's a lot of methane popping up too, that's a bad combination. So what we see here, this blue is 225 Dobson units, and then it goes 250, 275, and 300. You can see a lot of the United States is in a thinner area here. So this is actual data. So let's load this movie up and run this. And when it's thin like this through the total column, now this is the good ozone that we're looking at. When it's thin, when you're outside, you're getting extra UV rays from the sun. You can see this wave moving across the Midwest and then up into the Northeast, thinning out, just totally thinning out. So it's just a bad combination this week, and a lot of people are armed now because of all of the shootings and things, and so you know, tempers can flare when you've got this kind of stuff going on. So I had someone complain that I never showed Australia, and so I'm gonna back out and we're gonna run this movie again, and I'll move the map around so that we can see Australia. Start back over. This is the worldwide view. Australia, unfortunately, is down here and it's underneath the graph. So let's look. See, I moved it up. And the ozone layer is thin over Australia too, especially the northern part. And so there's a lot of skin cancer and things going on in Australia because they have thin ozone down there too. And you can see that here it is at the South Pole. Of course, it's winter down there, and that's called the ozone hole, but it's really just a thinning. And it moves up to the North Pole in the winter time. So, but you can see it around the equator too. So when people go on vacations down to places on the equator and they go into the sun, they're getting lots and lots of extra UV. So this is very dangerous. Okay, so we're going to stop that movie. Now let's run this at surface level and we'll look at it worldwide. This is the surface level or bad ozone worldwide. You're going to see a lot up here in Siberia coming up too. So here we go. It's running the movie. I'll let it run through a couple of times, but you can, here's the North America. Here's a surface level for Australia. Doesn't look bad. Looks pretty good. See it up here in Siberia. Look at that. Here it is. There. And this is from the sunlight interacting with pollutants in the atmosphere, creating ozone at ground level, which is a very dangerous level. See? I don't know what's going on up there to create that, but there's something. And see, that's up in the red zone over here and over here. So that's at least 120 to 150 parts per billion. So it's very dangerous. And I'm going to show you one more thing. I've got it loaded in the charts view for the United States. Now this graph is wrong. I pointed that out in my ozone video. This is DU. That's for... Okay, I'm back. They crashed my computer, and anyone who thinks that we're not under Big Brother, we're not in a surveillance state, here's what happened. I was showing you this graph down here from the time that they crashed my computer, and then it restarted, and then I got back on this CAM's website. They have now updated this graph to be correct, and I showed it as wrong. It had been listed as DU, Dobson units, which is for total column. Now let's just see if we change from surface to total column. See, it didn't change. So something is not correct about this CAM's website. Now it's still showing parts per billion, and that should be registered at total column. But they changed it from the amount of time they took to crash my computer and restart. They put this up. So this is for surface level, and this is what I was wanting to show you. This is surface level ozone, and their data is in for today, Monday, and I've gone forward a little bit in the timetable, but it's still July 2nd today, and we're showing dangerous levels of surface ozone over Northern California. That's like the San Francisco area, and over Colorado. This is, I'm not sure exactly where that is, whether it's the Denver area or a little bit south of that. So this was, I'm going to put it back to the beginning, and we're going to run this movie. I get so tired of this. I get so tired of fighting with this technology and crashing my computer. I have so many issues. And, you know, when I do Velikovsky, it's no problem. If I want to talk about alien implant removal, it's no problem. If I want to talk about spiritual stuff, it's no problem. But when I do this, they don't want it up. Okay. Now, here goes the movie. Watch. Now we're going into the forecast period. They're forecasting from the data that they have in that this is what the ozone is going to be. Look at it going all the way up here through the forecast period through Friday, July the 6th. And it just covers up the whole United States. This is going to be very, very dangerous. The air quality is going to be awful. So I wanted to show you that. And I also want to quickly show, I'm going to switch over to methane very quickly, and it's worse than I had seen yesterday as well. And we're going to go to surface level. This is over the United States. You see that? And their data is in from Saturday. And that looks worse than what I showed last night. I don't know how that could be, but it just looks worse. So let's run this movie. And I'm focusing on the United States in this video because we've got 4th of July coming up in a couple of days. It's and we got this heat wave, and people are going to be in larger groups outside. We've got thin ozone with the good ozone, so people are going to be getting a lot of UV coming through, cosmic radiation coming through on their skin. We've got bad ozone, we've got methane, we've got unprecedented heat across the United States, but especially from the Midwest over, and you can see it's just this toxic soup, and you can see Florida is covered up in methane. And this is, combine that with large crowds, and there are going to be marches, and people are going to be protesting against Trump and all different kinds of stuff. And this is a recipe for disaster. This is what I see, and I have a very bad feeling about this week. A very bad feeling. So I just pray for peace. I pray for people to have discernment, that they keep a cool head when they're out and about. Um, if you feel like a dangerous situation is brewing, get out of there. Don't put yourself in harm's way. Seriously, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. So, I just pray for everyone to be safe during this 4th of July holiday and celebration and all that. And God bless everyone, and time is short. So, God bless everyone, and go in peace. And until next time, this is Margo signing off. Goodbye.